Next program is Leakey bucket. So you have to follow the same procedure. Go to file, go to new, go to source file, create a new file and save that file with the .c extension. Since I have typed and kept, I'll be opening this file. Go to file and open. So since I have already typed and kept, so after typing the program, so you have to execute the program. So first is compilation and next is run. So to execute it, so you have to press an F9 button or just go to execute and compile. So this is compiling here. After compilation results, it is going to give the errors as 0 and warnings 0. So next, to run the program, go to execute and run. So here it is asking for enter the bucket size. You can type any of the value of your wish and typing the bucket size as 5. Next, enter output rate. The output rate here is 2 I am taking. Enter number of packets coming at second 1. So I'll press 3. Any value you can press it, your wish. So 3. Press 1 to continue. I want to continue. 3. 1, again 3, 1, again 3, 1, 3, 1, again 3. I want to exit it, 0, enter. So this is the output of a leaky bucket. So with the bucket size, it is equals to 5. Now we'll understand this output. So we'll understand this output first. So here the bucket size I have taken as 5 and the output rate I have taken as 2. Just keep these two things in mind. So for the explanation, so we can see here the same output I have copied from the output. So here you can see that you have a bucket. So for the first trial or for the first second, so how much data it is received is 3. Means, so you have a bucket here. So imagine that you have a bucket and you are filling your bucket with 3 apples. Okay. So for the first time you are filling your bucket with 3 apples. And you are giving, since the output rate is 2, you are giving 2 apples to somebody. Okay. So you have received 3 apples. Now your bucket has 3 apples in it and you are removing 2 apples and you are giving it to somebody. So how much is remained inside the bucket? So only 1 apple is remained inside the bucket. Drop is equals to 0 because it has not exceeded the capacity of the bucket. The capacity of the bucket is 5. So since we have here 3, 2 and 1, it is less than 5. It has not exceeded the capacity of the bucket. So for the first trial, you have added 3 apples to the bucket. Out of 3 apples, you have given 2 apples to somebody and only 1 apple is remained in the bucket. Now for the second trial or for the second 2, so you are adding again 3 apples. So what was initially we had 1 apple here. So you are adding a 3 apples here. So the total apples in a bucket, it has become 4. Now out of 4 apples, you are sending out 2 apples to somebody. So how much is remained? 2 apples is remained. So since it is less than the capacity, the drop is 0. Now you have 2 apples. Again for the third trial, you are adding 3 apples. So 3 plus 2, it will become 5 apples in your bucket. Out of 5 apples, you are sending 2 apples out. You are sending 2 apples out again. So the remaining is 3. So again this 3 is within the capacity of a bucket. So there is no drop. So now 3 apples is remained. Again for this 3 apples, you are adding again for the fourth trial 3 apples. So it will become 6 apples. Out of 6 apples, you are sending 2 apples out. So again remained is 4 apple. So 4 is again less within the capacity of the bucket, that is 5. So again 4 plus 3, here you have it is 7. So out of 7 you are sending 2 apples out. So remained is 5. Now again 5, it is the capacity, so there is no drop. Now remained is 5. Again for the 6th trial you are going to add 3 apples, so it will become 8. Out of 8 it is going to send 2 apples out. So remained is actually how much? It is 6, but it is more than the capacity of the bucket, so that's why it is going to drop 1 apple out, and the remainder is 5. So that's why you have got the drop here as 1. So remainder is 5. So for the next trial, so you are not going to add any of the apple, because I have considered only up to 6 trials and I have typed 0 to quit. So you have not added anything, but the bucket, it is filled with 5 apples and it wants to send it to or give it to somebody. So that's why out of 5 apples, if I remove 2 apples out, so the remaining is 3. So 3 is within the capacity, so that's why the drop is 0. Again, out of 3 apples, for the next trial I have not added anything. So out of 3 apples, 2 you are going to send the output rate. So remaining is 1. So drop is 0. So only 1 apple is remained. So since my output rate is 2, but I have only 1 apple, so that 1 apple also it is moved out. So the remainder is 0 and drop is 0. So whatever the data, it is the analogy of a data transfer. Whatever the data you are adding into the bucket, it will be transferred every time with some drop whenever it is exceeding the capacity of the bucket. So this is the analogy of a data transfer I have considered. The bucket is nothing but the channel that we are considering in CCN. So now the same way you can give any of the inputs. So if I execute it again, so bucket size you can take it as 6, output rate you can take it as 3, packets you can take it as some higher value, will take it. So you have got a different output. So for the first time you have added 4, that is 4 apples. If you are adding means how much is the output rate we have considered? 3 is the output rate you have considered. So out of 4, 3 is sent out, remaining is 1, so there is no drop here. So this 1 is again you are adding 8 apples for the remained 1. So 8 plus 1, this will become 9. So out of 9, 3 apples you are moving it out, so remained is 6. So 6, it is a capacity within the capacity, so that's why the drop is 0 here. So you are remained with the 6 apples, again you are adding 8 more apples, again you are moving it 3 outside, so left out is 6 and you have dropped 5 apples. So this process is continuous. You can take any of the inputs and you can get the output like this.